In my opinion, do I think that Filecoin is cooked? Well, no, I don't think so actually. And the reason why? I'll explain in today's video, even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. This is just my opinion, and I am not a financial advisor. But besides that, let's take a look at Filecoin as of right now. It's easy to say it's cooked, in my opinion, right? Slightly under $1, had a major pullback. People say, wow, this is toasted, it's steamed, it's roasted, it's done for. But we have to take a look at it fundamentally speaking. Filecoin is arguably the most popular project, in my opinion, as of right now, in regard to the niche of data storage when it comes to the space. Of course, it's not the most popular project within this space in its entirety, but for its niche, it's arguably the most popular, in my opinion. I think it really is. Take a look at Jasmy. Jasmy is pretty cool, but it's not as popular as Filecoin. Arweave, it's not as popular as this. Siacoin, it's not as popular as this. Take a look at, let's say in the case of Storj, or should I say Storj, but it's spelled STRJ. That's not as popular as this. And those are all projects that are primarily focused on data storage. So let's just let that sink in. For the niche of data storage, arguably Filecoin, in my opinion, is the most recognizable still, even as of right now. And I think the most popular, again, within its own niche. So how could that be cooked? That's just my mindset. Not to mention, we have to take a look at how Filecoin, as of late, has been pretty recognized, actually, when it comes to an aspect of it in regard to AI. Case in point, let's just take a look at how Filecoin allegedly makes up approximately 15% or 14% of Grayscale's decentralized AI fund. Let's just let that sink in. Now, that's from the last time I checked, to the best of my recollection, right? So we have to consider Filecoin, really? Like, I mean, again, a lot of people don't really think about this when it comes to AI, but apparently Grayscale does, because again, if something makes up around 15% of their decentralized AI fund, I'm assuming that they care about that project in particular when it comes to AI. Or not, why would they do that? That's the thing. Now, what makes up the biggest percentage when it comes to Grayscale's decentralized AI fund? It's something called Near, or should I say the Near protocol. I'm still a fan of that too, but I'm just saying Filecoin, it's something that's kind of out of left field, right? We don't really expect it to play that big of a role in Grayscale's decentralized AI fund, but apparently it does as of right now. It could change though, but I'm just saying. Take a look at the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust to just kind of visualize how massive Grayscale is. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust holds well over 100,000 Bitcoin. Not $100,000, no. Above 100,000 Bitcoin. So let's just let that sink in. That's kind of ridiculous, but in a good way. So when I take a look at Filecoin, sure, it's primarily known for a project that's focused on data storage, but there's other avenues too. Maybe if it kind of fails through data storage for whatever reason, there's still AI there, right? But if that doesn't really take off, that narrative when it comes to Filecoin, there's always that data storage, tool in their back pocket, so to speak, because that's their bread and butter. That's what they're known for, historically speaking. I mean, it's literally even in the name, Filecoin, right? Like, it's known for data storage, historically. But yeah, besides that point, though, yeah, sure, Filecoin, slightly under $1, but that could be viewed as in either a positive or negative way, depending on the frame of mind that I have. Case in point, let's take a look at, for instance, I can either view this as a moment in time where I'm like, oh, wow, this is so bad, or I could view it as a positive thing. Now, people like to tell me, how can you view this as a positive thing? How is that even possible? Well, let's ask Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, let's take a look at, for instance, does he care about the dip? In some cases, yes. Take a look at when he believed in Coca-Cola. It was way lower than right now. Take a look at when Berkshire Hathaway believed in Apple. When they acquired the stocks, it's way lower than right now. Like, initially, of course, back then, right? So we have to consider the dip, so to speak, right? The quote unquote dip. It could be viewed as a positive or negative depending on the individual. That's just my mindset. So when we take a look at Filecoin, it's actually around 11 times lower than where it once was in March of 2024. Now, people like to say, well, who cares about that? That's a long time ago. Sure, it's over 2 years ago at this point, but we have to consider not that long ago, it was actually around 11 times higher than where it is as of right now. And a lot of people would arguably say that 2024, we didn't see an altcoin season. So even without an altcoin season, we saw Filecoin do that. Not to mention, if we don't want to take a look at things too far back in time, let's just take a look at, for instance, December 2024. In December 2024, it was over 7 times higher than where it is as of right now. So either Filecoin goes back to December 2024 levels or maybe March of 2024. Either of those 2 points, I have zero complaints. That's the thing. One thing I do know for sure, though, is that Ethereum is not 10 times lower than its all-time high. It just isn't. I mean, of course, it's had a pullback, but it's not like it's 10 times lower than its all-time high, let alone Bitcoin. That's not even 2 times lower than its all-time high. But yeah, besides that point, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, though, but if we take a look at Filecoin, around 150,000 holders, that's kind of impressive in my opinion. Is it the biggest amount out there? No, not really. I mean, something like Polkadot, which isn't even doing that good, by the way, as of right now, even though I'm still a fan of it, that has over 1 million holders. So if we take a look at Filecoin, around 150,000 holders, not really that impressive, some people like to say, but not bad considering the combination, because we have to take a look at it. Filecoin, again, like I mentioned earlier on this video, arguably the most popular project within its own niche in terms of data storage. And I combine that again with around 150,000 holders and how it has an emphasis when it comes to AI, and to the point where Filecoin even makes up roughly approximately 15% of Grayscale's decentralized AI fund. When I consider all of that right there, this is a project that oftentimes does not get forgotten about if the market were to pick up. But it's a big if, though. It doesn't mean it will, but I'm just saying, usually a project of this size and magnitude doesn't often get ignored like that. So when people like to say, oh, aren't you afraid if the market were to take off, this gets left behind? Well, historically, it doesn't actually get left behind in a sense, right? So, I mean, it could be different next time around, but I'm just saying, historically, I just haven't seen that. But when will the market pick off? Or take off, I should say. I mean, it's not within my control. I can't demand this to happen tomorrow or whatever, next week. I can't do that. The only thing I can do is focus on myself and just control, again, what's within my control. Like, for instance, I am dollar cost averaging once a month. That's it. I don't want to do any more than that, though. But that way, I just keep it consistent. I treat it like a marathon. I don't treat it like a sprint. Because that way, by me just holding and waiting, if the market were to take off, I'm just waiting the entire time. So it's kind of like going along with the ride. I don't have to try to time it. I don't have to try to find the perfect moment. No, by just me holding and waiting, it's kind of like just naturally going along with the ride. I could be sleeping. I could be hanging out with my friends or whatever. And if the market were to takes off like that, I was just waiting the entire time. So that's why I don't like to try to time this market, because there's no way I could do that. It's like impossible for me, in my opinion. What am I going to do? Pull up a price chart, draw some random triangles, and suddenly find the perfect time? There's no way. The market's not going to care about what I have to do. But case in point as well, if I take a look at it, I'd rather anticipate as opposed to chase. Just like things in life in general, in my opinion, I'd rather just anticipate as opposed to chase. That's it. I mean, if let's say I'm surfing in the ocean, do I want to chase a wave that's like 70 feet away? Or do I want to anticipate? Now, this is not surfing advice. I don't surf, but I'm just saying, I find it quite difficult for me to visualize trying to chase a wave that's like 70 feet away. I'm not Aquaman, right? I'm not Jason Momoa. I can't do that. I'd rather anticipate. So when I take a look at in the case of this space, I view it no different. I'm just treating it like a marathon. It's not a sprint for me. But nonetheless, I'm still a fan when it comes to Filecoin. Sure, it's a little bit difficult seeing Filecoin at slightly below $1, but it depends on the frame of mind. Again, it could be viewed as a positive or a negative, but I choose to view it as a hypothetical positive because, first of all, I don't mind waiting and I like the dip. So if I consider all of that right there, I just don't find it to be a negative moment for me, especially what I'm seeing as of right now when it comes to Filecoin. And do I think it's cooked? No. Personally, this is my mindset, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Winley the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.